Hello, I'm Lee. In this video, let's look at the Java development environment. Before we install anything, we need to understand how Java language works, which is quite different from C++ language. I know you guys are quite familiar with C++. So in C++, when we have a hello.cpp, which contains a famous Hello World program, we call it a source file. We need to compile it into an executable file. After hello, this executable file is generated, you can run this binary file as many times as you want with no translation at all, because the translation is already done. It's quite efficient. But with Java, it's quite different. Let's take a look. When we have the hello.java, the source file, first, it needs to be translated into hello.class. This hello.class contains something called a bytecode. Bytecode isn't exactly binary code. It cannot run on any machine. We have to feed this bytecode in something called JVM, which stands for Java Virtual Machine. So Java Virtual Machine is used to interpret this bytecode into the binary code for that machine. So in order to run this hello.class, the bytecode we release, that's a product we release, you have to install the JVM or Java runtime to run it. That's why even as an end user, you need to download Java to run Java application, especially lots of web application are written in Java, so they release bytecode, and on your end, when you need to run this bytecode, you need to download Java. With C++, you can just go ahead and run it. You don't need to download anything more. Alright, so by comparing these two languages, it's easier to see like Java is slightly less efficient than C++. You have to have an actual phase here. The compiled phase, then the interpretation phase. So for after the compiled thing, you have to interpret it at runtime. Now every time when you run this bytecode, you have to interpret it. But fortunately, bytecode is very similar to binary code. So JVM is a very small download, and it's easier to write a JVM than the full compiler there, because JVM is only translating something very close to binary code into the machine code. So we see the disadvantage of Java, less efficient. So what do we gain with this bytecode thing? Okay, you might have heard Java is machine independent, platform independent. Let's take a look at why. Hello.class cannot run on any machine anyway. So in order to run this bytecode, you have to have your own JVM to run it. That's why it's machine independent. This one is compiled to a specific machine, a specific type of machine. So you cannot run hello executable file compiled for one type of machine on another type of machine, because they understand different binary code. But for hello.class, it cannot run on any machine anyway. You have to get your JVM. So that's why it's platform independent. So as long as the JVM understands bytecode and the specific binary code for that machine, you're alright. So by comparing the two languages, we see Java is slightly less efficient, but it's platform independent. In the next part of the video, we're going to look at the development environment of Java.